the most prolific director on my list. I think there's no chance that I would have seen all of his movies because he's directed 140 films since 1917 to 1970. This is the director of the 30-minute training film for the U.S. Army from 1942 called Sex Hygiene, and his debut film was Straight Shooting in 1917 with Harry Carey. It's the great John Ford.
All right.
I was looking at directors, and Howard Hawks was close to being on the list, but John Ford I was looking at as well, and I didn't realize he had made that many movies. I was like, I like a lot of his movies. I love The Quiet Man. I love The Searchers. I love Man Who Shot with Liberty Valance. I think I've talked about that on the show before. Yeah. But Donovan's Reef, Rio Grande, all of these movies, Three Godfathers, The Fugitive, they were expendable if you're into war movies. Great movie. I haven't seen Grapes of Wrath. A lot of people praise that movie for being like, I think it was an Oscar winner in 1940. Never got around to it, but I started rewatching his movies just to see, do they hold up in like a best director way? Obviously, I like them as old movies, but are they a best director of all time kind of movie? I put on The Searchers, which, because it was a movie that I didn't remember loving. I was like, The Searchers, a lot of people talk about, but I didn't remember loving it when I saw it. I put on The Searchers. It is a gorgeous Western. It's one of the best looking movies I've ever seen. It looks like it's from at least the 70s, and it's from 1956. It's just unbelievably beautiful to look at. And John Ford established the, if you're going to make a Western, you make it in Monument Valley thing. He did that. It didn't do it until pretty late on Stagecoach. It was Stagecoach, his first film in Monument Valley with John Wayne. Yeah, basically responsible for breaking out John Wayne, who had non-speaking bit parts in some of his earlier movies. Directed the film debuts of Humphrey Bogart and Spencer Tracy in Up at the River, 1930. But The Searchers I was talking about, I saw it with new eyes, I feel like, going into it and thinking of it as, how is the direction of this movie? And just his use of colors, use of contrast with the doorways and the desert behind and the silhouettes of the people and everything. And the story overall is such a beautiful story. Beautiful and dark and sad at the same time, but also just, I think, I probably should have put up higher on my top 10 Western list if I had thought about it or had this experience earlier on in my life a couple years ago when we did that episode. John Ford, it'll be a while before I get through all 140 of your feature films. Although I think many of his silent films were lost, so you probably can't watch all of them if you want to.
I have been spending most of this list wondering, like, when is he throwing up Western directors? Because Jake likes his Westerns, so...
Mm-hmm. It's a cornerstone of my childhood.
About time he threw one up. I don't have any.
I've gotten more attached to it as I get older, for sure.
Of course you have. You old man.
I'm basically Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven at this point.
There you go.